A lot was made of this new e-passport, and it is quite a catchy idea, but I think we should just put it into perspective and not be overly optimistic that tomorrow all African citizens are going to be able to travel visa-free to the neighboring countries. As you know, in Southern Africa, immigration, migration, xenophobia, those are major issues that we have to deal with, and sovereignty issues, because that's one of the big things that we deal with at the level of the African Union constantly. It is the AU has got a certain vision and certain ideas of how African states should work together, and then in the end it's, oh, but we're a sovereign state, you can't tell us how to run our countries or our immigration laws, etc. So there's this tension between those two. But it was welcomed, I think, the e-passport, because it is supposed to lead to more openness and freer travel around the continent. If by, certainly not by 2018, I think that's too close, but within a couple of years, if ordinary citizens can have an AU passport, an African passport, and travel without visas across borders, then they can say, here is something that the AU did for us. You know, it would have an impact to make the AU more people-centered and not only a get-together of heads of state and African leaders who meet twice a year and make big decisions that are never implemented. So I think to popularize the AU, the e-passport could play a role. And the AU on other levels, the AU should also be, I think, very careful to be seen to be closer to the people. Otherwise, you would get that European situation where people feel excluded. And Rwanda is one that has been often cited, but I must say, as a South African, when I arrived in Rwanda, we could get a visa on arrival, but you had to pay $50 and produce, documents and so on. So it's not Rwanda and Ghana and Mauritius are the three that are mentioned that Africans, those with African passports, can freely travel. Now, as I say, it is true that you can get a visa on arrival. You can even get a visa on arrival in Ethiopia. Other countries, for example, Senegal, have very open visa regulations vis-a-vis Europeans, French people, and that really has helped tourism. But funnily enough, a couple of years ago, they changed their visa regulations. South Africans never needed a visa to go to Senegal, like French people. Suddenly you arrive at the airport. The last time I was there, I was very surprised to find that I do need a visa. It was also on arrival, and it was also $50. I mentioned the financial aspect because it is a source of revenue for some countries. Some of the visas are quite expensive, the DRC and so on. So if they were going to scrap those for people coming from African countries for tourism or business, it would be a financial loss in a way, but you could, of course, weigh that up with the positives of attracting business and tourism. So countries individually will also have to decide what's in it for them, and are they going to benefit from scrapping visa regulations.